Well, hola everyone. Hola, hola. Um, in this video, I'm going to be covering a new dimension that I've never covered in my vlogs, and I'm pretty sure not any of my blogs ever. Ever. So this is something completely new that I've seen within myself that I'm now sharing here as a realization. It is fresh. It is something I saw last night, and well, it's been a process of getting to this point. I can see how the last few days and over the course of months as well, there's been this specific process I've been walking, specifically in relation to my DIP course lesson, but also in general as well too, as well as it's tied to the living words process that is opening up within the self and living, the school of ultimate living um, place online, and yeah. So this process, this dimension that I'm opening up here is actually it's from a DFA lesson, but how I found it within myself. That's what's new for me, to really see it really clearly. So here it's the topic of beliefs and ideas about who I am. And within that, I can describe it as using words to limit who I am, defining myself according to words that limit who I am. Okay, what are some examples of this? Like, for example, if I have the idea or belief or words that I do not get angry. If I have that belief there, then, and I live that, then I will literally perceive myself and my reality in such a way where I do not perceive myself becoming angry or feeling angry. The same thing if, let's take another situation. I do not receive or enjoy like adrenaline rush experiences. So also the same thing, nowhere in my reality will I perceive that I enjoy adrenaline rush experiences, even though I do. So this can be really tricky to see and understand because you're basically looking at the point of, let's say, self-deception, of self-illusion. You're very much looking at the point where there is an idea or belief that is false, but we believe it is true. And so how are you going to see something that you believe is true in order to see that it's actually false? How would you actually be able to see that? So that's what I've been walking for myself. And yeah, it's been a difficult process to be able to see something that is the complete opposite of what I believe and I have an idea about myself. I mean, okay, let's break it down for you in terms of how I see it. It's like an absolute statement is made about who I am. So I'm like this kind of person. And sometimes it's based within reality where some of the times I'm like this way, I'm saying, sometimes. But all the times throughout my whole entire day and through every single moment and through every single situation, am I actually like this? And that's the point there where you see that no, you're not like this. It can be an example of being, let's say, reliable or hard worker. You may have, in a part of your life, become really reliable, hard worker, but that was in one part of your life, and then you have that definition of yourself as being that kind of person. But when you are not in that part of your life, when you are in a different part, different context, different time of your life, you actually are not being like that for whatever reason, and that has to be investigated itself why. But so you're not like that in that context, in that moment. But then you are in conflict because you have this idea about yourself. So you keep telling yourself you have this idea that you are a hard worker and you're reliable. But that, in a way, blinds you from actually seeing the truth and reality, which is right here, about who you are in the moment. So basically, whenever you have an idea about yourself, when you're making a statement about who you are, challenge that. Challenge it. Look in context situations in your life where you are not like that. If you do that, then of course you're going to find exactly what you're looking for. You're going to be finding the moments where you are not actually living according to what you believe yourself to be, always. And this goes from small experiences to large experiences to whatever thing you think of. It's just this basic point about who you are and what the beliefs and ideas about that you have about who you are. And what's cool about this is it's about almost looking throughout time, like having access to the past and the future and the present, like really seeing throughout all your years and also your whole entire week and through all the moments and through all the days and into the future, because when I do this, when I project into my future, what I'm seeing is simply my past repeating itself, right? So I just look and see, okay, who would I be? What would I do? And there's a self-honesty there where you can see the truth. But what I found is that there is level of resistance that comes with seeing the truth of who you are, because there is a conflict between the belief and idea about who you are and who you actually are. And so what I found is that you really have to hold on to the point of who are you actually in the moment. So in a way, you have to let go of your beliefs and ideas and just see what is actually here. And it's just that movement right there where, yeah, just that movement, let go of your beliefs and ideas about who you are, and just for that moment, and just look, okay, who am I actually in this moment, and throughout my life, throughout my day, and then use that actually as the real truth, the proof about who you are. And so it's like really being an objective looker, seer, observer about your day and your moments. Like, for example, let's say you have an idea about you're never angry. And maybe you have said in your life one time or a few times in an argument, when someone tells you you're being angry, you tell them, no, I'm not being angry. I'm like this. Though when you let go of these beliefs and ideas and see, okay, what were you actually feeling in the moment? What's the real truth? You'll see probably you felt anger. So it's about looking into who you are really. So that's the process I'm opening up and sharing right here. And for me, I've already been applying this for a few points, and it's been a process, some struggles through, for example, for me, there's a point of being a good person, having that belief and idea, and that blinded much of who I am. Where anytime I wasn't, let's say, a good person according to my definition, which included doing what is best for all, then I would be blind to that. So essentially, I was blinding myself to whenever I would not, for example, whenever I would react sometimes, whenever I would be angry sometimes, or something like that, I would be blind to that because of this belief and idea that I have. And as well, there's more moments like being a victim, for example. where I would have this belief and idea that when someone manipulates me or lies to me or deceives me, that I am a victim. There's that belief and idea there. When I looked at that point finally, which took a long time, when I looked at it, the heart of it is just I'm having an emotional reaction. I am reacting with sadness, with anger, with fear, with irritation, with annoyance. I'm reacting this way, like a deep sadness, like a pity for myself. I'm reacting this way when someone does this, when someone lies to me, deceives me. So it's a reaction. That's what it is. And so if I were to drop the reaction and stop it, what would be left but just me in the moment here? And there's that potential where I just stand, who I am, no matter what. Where whether a person lies to me, or deceives me, or manipulates me, I am still continuing to express me, who I am. I am still the director of my life. But for example, I wasn't able to see that within myself, even though I was participating within being a victim. I wasn't able to see that because I had this idea of being a victim, that when someone manipulates me, lies to me, I'm a victim. The same thing as seeing another person. If they are manipulated, lied to, or deceived, they are a victim. So that's my perception onto reality. And so with that belief and idea, I'm not able to see the truth, the potential for something greater, something actually practical and supportive for what's best for all. But I didn't see that. And that also is tied into my idea of being a good person. Because a good person is someone who also will be treated badly as well, will become a victim. That battle between good and evil, it's part of that relationship there, where you expect good to fight evil, or evil to fight good. You expect some consequences, you expect being a victim in a way, or even helping victims. Like if you see someone who's been manipulated or lied to, you as a good person will help them. But that's all within ideas and beliefs, because in reality you are just reinforcing their victim state. You're not actually helping them see that they're within a reaction, they can stand stable within who they are, and continue to express who they really are, and not really be influenced or determined by someone else's actions and decisions of lying or deceiving or manipulating. And that's the beauty point. That's the actual ideal point. That's the thing to strive for, to live for, and to become. Not to stay within an expression of being a victim and complaining. The same thing with what's happening now with Donald Trump and Clinton and everything involved in that, because a lot of people are seeing themselves as a victim. And you can see everyone has its design. Everyone. And so I'm opening up this point now for everyone to look at for themselves. Because if you haven't really looked at this specifically, I doubt you have really worked through it. So that's what I found, and there's more dimensions that I opened up within myself, more beliefs and ideas, including small moments of just simply reacting, where I believe I was not reacting, or believe that there was no energy involved, when there was, because of my definitions of it, my beliefs about who I am. So that's the point to look at and to open up, and to, in a way, is what I said earlier in my vlog. To not let words limit you, because when you have an idea about who you are, that's like a word. It can be, for example, I am confident, or I am brave, or I am fearless, or I am trustworthy, or I'm kind, or I'm nice, I'm good. So within that definition, you can limit yourself, where if you believe that is true, I'm saying you believe it, it is true. But in reality, it's not true absolutely like how you're saying it is. Because when you say I am good, when you say I'm kind, I'm strong, I'm brave, that statement in English language means that you are always that word. That's what the words I am refers to. I am this. And spoken in that context, that statement means absolutely. I am brave. If you say that, you're saying that you're brave always. But if you believe that is true, if you believe you are brave, or any other word, but in reality you are not, then you are essentially telling yourself a lie. You're lying to yourself, you're deceiving yourself, you're manipulating yourself. you're not seeing the truth of who you are. And that's kind of the problem within a lot of this New Age stuff, where people make these positive affirmation statements that I am this, I am that, I am good, I am happy, I am strong, I am healthy. When people make these statements, they're actually telling themselves beliefs, and they're trying to believe it. And so they create a belief, and in reality, are they actually those words? Probably not. And if you were those words, would you actually need to affirm it to yourself? No, you wouldn't. So this is a whole another problem, a whole nother fuck up that's happening in reality. But it's a perfect example. It's a perfect externalization of what's happening within all of us, because we're all doing it. And we all have done it throughout our whole entire lives since childhood. We have all made statements about who we are. I'm this. I'm that. I'm this person. I'm that person. I am a good student. I'm a good friend. I'm a good brother. I'm a good son. I'm a good person. Or even the opposite, whatever it may be. But the point is, we make these statements, these beliefs, and we believe we are this absolutely. And even if you say you don't believe it absolutely, it's still how you speak and how you live it. It's lived absolutely. It's a statement within you where you will see it as if it is true. You will project onto reality. Your perception, your observation reality will be that trying to make your statement true, because you believe it is true. The same thing as having expectation. You expect something is true, so you look for the evidence that says it is true. The same problem right there, the same situation. And this happens all the time. But now we're looking at who we are, right? Who am I? So you have this belief and idea, I am this kind of person, when in reality you are not. What this results in, this situation, when you have a belief about who you are, and you're not really that person, absolutely, you will blind yourself, and it will serve as a point of self-defense, of never changing who you are in real time in your actual behavior. Because you will be blind to, you will not see the actual moments where you are not living that word. Let's say it's the statement, I am a good person, or let's say I am kind. Any moments where you, let's say, are not kind, are not being a good person, you will be blind to. And you will see this in your mind, where you will make excuses and justifications and make a situation perceive in such a way, to make the situation, to talk to yourself in such a way where the situation makes you a good person, or makes you kind, or excuses you, or blames the reason why you were different exceptionally in that moment because of what the other person was, and you didn't have any power over it. So these ideas that I am a kind or good person, or any other word that's limiting you, which are beliefs, which isn't what's in truth, in reality, that protects you from ever changing. That protects, let's say, your evil side. You know, if you're making statements about being a good person, it protects the opposite. It protects parts of who you really are, where you won't see it and you won't change it. It will just stay the same. That's what's happening in real time, in reality, but you're not perceiving that. In order to perceive that, so like I said earlier in the beginning, you have to let go of the beliefs and ideas and just simply look at what is here. Be here. See what you're actually doing, and challenge your beliefs and ideas. See for when you are not doing it. Don't look for points of affirming your beliefs and ideas. Look for points that contradict, that provide evidence that goes against your beliefs and ideas. Really challenge who you are, your ideas and beliefs about who you are. Look at who you are in real-time moments in reality. Otherwise, you won't ever see who you really are, what you really do, and how to actually become better, and how to actually change. Because how can you expect to become better, to become more, to change, if you're not able to actually see who you are and your faults and your flaws and points of problems? Let's take away the words problems at all. Let's assume there's no problems for a moment within who you are. It's simply getting to the point of, okay, laying yourself out on the table. Let's say you have a table right in front of you. You want to lay all of yourself on the table and to be able to look at it. And you are the one who gets to determine what you're going to change and what you're going to do. You get to make that decision, okay? But all I'm saying is just to be able to lay yourself on the table and see all the parts of who you are. And you get to change it. You don't have to call it good or bad, okay? The point is that if you have an idea or belief about who you are, anything which doesn't fit that idea or belief, you won't be able to see it or perceive it. That's the basic point. But you are the one who can change, and you're the one who can see about who you are. And that's what you want to do, right? I mean, let's just forget the idea about you losing something, or you having a fear about you're going to change as a person, you're going to lose this, fear of change, you want to keep this in your life. Let go of those beliefs or fears, ideas about what the bad thing is going to happen from looking at yourself. Just drop that. And just realize that all you are is looking at yourself. All you are is looking at who you are. That's it. You can decide what you're going to do with that. You can choose how you're going to change or not going to change. But at least take that self-honesty point of just being aware of who you are in everyday moments, real-time moments, and call it for what it is. Not anything less than that. Not anything more than that. Just what you actually are doing. So, this is my assistance and support for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.